Yeah, the questions we're going to get to at the end of it. But if anybody, when I finish, wants to ask anything, just do so. And if I can't answer it, I'll give it to Belinda to sort out. Okay, on the 7th of June 2024, my life stopped. My old life stopped, I should say. I made the decision on that day to surrender my life to Jesus. Since then, I've read the Bible every day. And each day I read it, it brings more clarity, a deeper understanding, an undeniable truth that Jesus is the Messiah. He is the Son of God. And the more I read, the more I'm changed as a person. It's like pieces of my life are finally fitting together. I called Simon and explained that, I'd given my life to the Lord, and of course he was excited about it. And I asked him to arrange my baptism as soon as possible, as I didn't want to waste any more time. We got it organised for the 13th of October last year, and I know there's quite a few people in this room that was there for my baptism, and I'm very grateful for that, and it made a special day even more special. So thank you for that. Simon saw that I was eager to grow in my faith, and he informed me there was a new evangelist course starting at Counties in the February of this year, and it was to do around evangelism. Simon said that he'd recognised that I had the gift of evangelism, which came as a real shock to me. So Counties have developed this new training course, and they've called it Connect 125. The goal is to equip and deploy 125, what they're now calling Connect evangelists. I'll cover that in a minute. And what they're going to do is put these Connect evangelists into churches, which is something that hasn't happened, obviously, in the past. These evangelists will focus on relational outreach. Historically, evangelists often operated as lone rangers, working independently and sometimes disconnected from local church. This made unity, or church unity, and integration extremely difficult. So the current approach is quite different. Counties are placing within the churches evangelists, I say Connect evangelists, and what they're trying to do is foster collaboration, strengthening relationships, and helping congregations engage with their communities more effectively. So after watching the video, it was like a taster video, I signed up for the course. It's a 9-month course, and there's 6 modules you have to go through. Each module has got 6 individual units in it, and it covers quite a range. I don't want to go through all, but it covers quite a range within. It's not just about evangelism, it's how churches are. It's the whole thing, really. It's how you're sharing your faith. It's quite in-depth. They give you 6 weeks per module to give you time to do it. I was probably about 3 weeks to finish each module. The pace is so easy and flexible, you can do it literally in your spare time. It's like a video-based course, so you can dip in and dip out, which is the benefit of it. It's also perfect. It's been designed to train Connect evangelists, but it's better than that. You don't have to become an evangelist at the end of it, but what you will get, there's so many benefits to doing it, and it certainly helped me in tremendous ways. When I initially looked at the course, I didn't take the course to become an evangelist. I signed up because I wanted to grow in my faith. I was very eager, keen as a new Christian. I think most new Christians are. I've now completed 95% of it. In fact, the last module's being released tomorrow, so I'll get stuck into that. I can say it's been deeply rewarding experience. I've learned so much from it, and more importantly, I've grown closer to God. I now feel confident in sharing my faith with people that I meet. I'll tell them about the good news, the gospel, that through Jesus' life, death and resurrection, God offers forgiveness, a new life, and a restored relationship with him. When you sign up to the course, you're assigned a mentor to walk alongside you. That could be a friend, it could be the pastor, it could be an evangelist, it could be anybody. And I've had the privilege of knowing Victor Jack for years. We've shared rounds of golf and lots of meaningful conversations. In my eyes, he's a living legend and someone I deeply admire. So when I felt it was time to grow deeper, I asked him to be my mentor, and I'm grateful he said yes. So during the past 15 months, Victor has taken me to several outreach events, and I've spoken at some of them. There's nothing better than watching a master at work. I've learnt such a huge amount from Victor, it's incredible. On one such occasion, we attended a Saturday evening meal at Hopton, where Victor was speaking, and I was asked to give my witness statement. When we got there, we get in the car park, and this is our normal method of operation, we do it all the time. We had a prayer, and we always pray for at least one soul to come forward. We went into the room, and there was, as we walked in, there was two big long table, and there was 2 chairs. So we thought, go and sit down, obviously. And of course, everybody knew Victor in the room, but no one knew me, obviously. When we sat down, this lady sat opposite me, leant across, and she said, "Tell me, what do you do?" And I said, "I'm his minder." And if you'd have seen the look on her face, it was an absolute peach. Victor nearly choked on his coffee. But what he did do was got everybody on the table talking. And we had a fantastic night. So Victor did his normal, which is, he's amazing. But at the end of the night, I did my witness statement. At the end of the night, a guy came up to me. And you could see he was sort of fidgeted. You could see he had questions, and So I was talking to him about faith for about 15 minutes. And because I knew I wouldn't be there, this is on the Saturday, the following on the Sunday, I called the pastor over from Hopton Church and introduced them. And we were talking for about another 10 minutes. And at the end of it, the guy said that he was going to go to church next day, which was absolutely brilliant. Victor was walking nearby, and as soon as this guy moved off, he came over and he said to me, "Was that the one?" And I said, "Yes, it was." So that was a start for somebody, which was brilliant. During the evangelist training course, I was asked to put together an evangelical mission. And what they want us to do is to involve Christians and non-believers, to mix them in. I know some of you in the room know I like to play golf. So what I decided to do was go one better, do one better than that, and do a live mission. So in July this year, I held my first mission, a 2-day golf event at Dunstan Hall, with Victor, of course, he loves his golf, and 4 other Christians, and 9 non-believers from my golf course. We had an absolutely brilliant time. It was a 4-star hotel. It's Dunstan Hall in Norwich. It was absolutely amazing. Everybody got on. It was just joyous to be there, to be honest with you. During the evening, one of the guys came up to me, chatting, and he said, "Dave, I know you're a Christian," he said, "but I wouldn't, you don't look like a Christian." So Victor was there, and I said, "What about Victor?" And he said, "He don't look like a Christian either." So I said to him, what does a Christian look like? He said, waving a Bible about, shouting his mouth off, pushing God at you. I said, well, there is people like that, I said, but we're not all like that. I said, most of us are just prepared to share our faith as required. I said, we don't try and push anything on anybody. Anyway, it descended into an hour-long discussion about faith, how I came to faith, and we had a brilliant time. The offshot of that is that on the way back, me and Victor were talking. Victor had spoken to somebody deeply, and I'd spoken to 3 people. So from that one event, we've now got 4 people looking at faith, which was absolutely brilliant. I've got plenty more of these dates coming up for golf. I think it's a great format because you're out with people. When you're walking down on a course, you're with them 4.5 hours. So, yeah, it's great. So a couple of weeks ago, I was asked to speak at Sizewell by a guy called Andy Mugford, who's a senior evangelist at Counties. I've got to know Andy through the course. Because I was one of the first adopters on the course, they've been using me to check out a lot of the stuff on it to make sure it makes sense, basically. So he was doing a week-long retreat at Sizewell and asked me if I'd go along and talk. So this is a bit of role reversal now, right? So Victor, the master, has been taking me all over the place. And we've had a great time. But this was my turn to invite Victor to come with me. So it was a bit like, the apprentice asking the master, which I really enjoyed that. Victor, I think most of you know, if it wasn't for Victor, Sizewell wouldn't be in being. It was all him that put it in. So when I mentioned Sizewell, I mean he was in the car before I was. We had an absolutely... Again, I did my witness statement, and it went really well. There were some lovely people, even though if they were from Essex, they were all from the Essex area, but they were lovely people. When I got back, Andy contacted me the following day, and he said that there was a lady, a non-believer, there that. And she said that her story mirrored mine quite, sort of mirrored it all the way through, more or less. And she was really now considering the next step, which I think, again, is, amazingly positive. And Andy's now keeping me informed of how it's going, as is the guy, Pastor at Hopton. But this, to me, this all shows that any effort in sharing your faith is well worth it. It's great to know that we can make a difference if we're prepared to stand up. I've come a long way in a very short period of time and learned a huge amount, and my faith has definitely grown stronger. I now feel that the Lord is steering me, pushing me forward, and he's definitely got a plan, which I'm, hoping that I'll find out exactly what it is one day. When I look back at my life, it's apparent that the Lord's hand has been working in my life, even if I couldn't see it. People that knew me in my old life were amazed I'd become a Christian. Now, I've been happily married with Nance for 35 years, but there was something lacking in our relationship. Nancy's been a Christian, since she was a little girl. And I just wasn't interested in her faith. You've heard me say this before. I just literally walked the other way. I just weren't interested. I turned to drink because I was searching for something. I've been blessed. I had a great job, nice home, lovely family, nice everything really. But I was still searching for something, and I genuinely didn't know what it was at the time. So I turned to drink, trying to fix that thing that was missing. I now know what was missing. I don't drink anymore. Anyway, I do, but not like I used to. I'm a changed person. I'm calmer, more contented. And my relationship with Nancy is even stronger than it was before. We've now got our faith to share as well. And that's the thing that was missing in our relationship. So hope fills my heart for what lies ahead. And my life now has meaning. And I often wish I'd committed my life to the Lord years ago. I tell everyone I meet I'm a Christian. I don't walk up and say, hello, my name's Dave, I'm a Christian. But I drop it into the conversation within, 5 or 10 minutes. I might be walking up the fairway golf and I'll just say something about church or something. And it's made for some really interesting encounters. Some people are just, not interested and they walk away. And other people start asking questions. And as I said, I can think of at least 12 people that are talking to me on a regular basis. And if not actually directly, through actually standing up and sharing my witness statement, which I think is brilliant. But some people, as I said, they just walk away, and I did that for years. I just, because Victor, we often say that now, when we used to play golf, Victor we'd sit down, have a cup of coffee, and he'd start, and I'd go, no, not interested, and we'd move on to something else. As a Christian, I have a very important message from God to deliver. The gospel, the good news, that we can all be saved if we repent and give our lives to our Lord Jesus. If you'd like to ask any questions, feel free. If you want to come and talk to me afterwards, equally, that's fine. Thank you for listening.
Wonderful.